Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a first impression and a wear test, and this is on the Chanel CC cream, and I've seen quite a few reviews on this and people have been saying how good it is. I did watch a video on Erin Nicole a little while ago and she was saying how good this was, so I decided I was going to go ahead and pick it up. Now this does retail for £48, so it is pretty expensive, but I did get it from Feel Unique, and on Feel Unique you can have a brand where you can get 10% off for a whole year, and I decided to choose Chanel and I did get 10% off of it, so it's a little bit more affordable, but it is still pretty expensive. So if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and also make sure to hit the bell icon just so you're notified every time I upload a new video. So with the CC cream, it contains SPF 50, it has loads of skincare ingredients as well, so it's something that I really like because I like to have foundations and CC creams that have skincare in there. This is also supposed to be suitable for all skin types and also sensitive skin. Now I do have very acne prone, oily and sensitive skin, so hopefully this is going to work out really well for me and hopefully it doesn't break me out as well. So the shade that I got is a shade 30 beige, and this one was probably the closest match that I could find on the shade BD31 in the Le Beige foundation, so I thought I'd go ahead and pick this one up. Now the shades seem very neutral, so if you do have a warm undertone or a cool undertone, it's probably not going to be the best match for you, but you might be able to warm it up with some bronzer or mix it with another foundation or CC cream that does have the same undertone as yourself. But this only has 7 shades, so they go from 10 all the way to 70, and with the shade 10 it is very fair, and with the shade 70, the deeper shade, it's not that dark, it's more like a light medium tan shade I'd say, so they do really need to expand on their shade range. But it is Chanel, it's one of those things where some foundations have quite a few shades on and some things only have like 5 to 7 shades. It also contains 30ml or 1 fluid ounce, which is the standard size for all CC creams and foundations. Now I've been obsessed with the IT Cosmetics oil-free CC cream. That is my holy grail. I wear it all the time because it's so good for my oils and also really good if you do have acne, because it has some different ingredients that help to fight acne. And I haven't swatched this, so I don't really know what the shade's going to be like. Hopefully it's going to match me. I don't self-tan my face, I only self-tan my body because my face is super sensitive, so that's why all my foundations tend to be a bit darker, because I match the rest of my body. On the website it says the must-have CC cream reinvents itself with a new super active formula to unveil an even more perfected complexion. It's the fusion of skincare benefits and a high coverage makeup result. It has 5 superpowers: unifies, moisturizes, corrects, protects and boosts skin's glow day after day. It also contains the Moringa plum, which I've never heard of before, but apparently it's supposed to be really good for the skin. And with the 5 superpowers, it unifies where blemishes such as dark spots, redness, pores are reduced by 39%, moisturizes for up to 12 hours, and after 1 month of application, signs of aging are corrected, wrinkles and fine lines are reduced by 20%, and the skin looks smooth and replumped. It also has SPF 50 in there as well, and it also contains vitamin C, antioxidant molecules, vitamin A, E and polyphenols, a new form of hyaluronic acid in it as well, and it's supposed to be for all skin types, even sensitive skin. And I'm hoping that this is going to be really good on my skin because, like I said, I am very oily and very sensitive, so hopefully it's not going to break me out and hopefully it's going to keep my oils at bay all day. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, we're going to test this out and see how it goes on the skin. So I've zoomed in and I'm ready to apply the CC cream. So I've already primed my skin, used my 2 primers that I always use, the Galan Law Radiance primer, I put this all over my skin, and then the e.l.f. Matte Pro primer, I put this on all areas where I get super oily during the day, so on my forehead, on the sides of my nose and also my chin. That's just where my oils peek through mostly during the day. And the CC cream doesn't say a specific way on how to apply it, so what I'm going to do is just apply it with my beauty sponge, which is what I do all the time with all my CC creams and foundations. I just feel like I get a much better look with it and it just looks more seamless as well. And it doesn't say the coverage that you get with this, it does say it's skincare mixed with high coverage makeup, so I'm just going to assume that it's like a medium full coverage that you can build up, because a lot of foundations do say that they're high coverage and they're like a medium coverage and they don't cover up all blemishes, but this says it is meant to be covering up all redness and all blemishes as well, so we'll see how it goes and see how it applies. So what I'm going to do is just apply it to one side of my skin and we'll see what the coverage looks like and the difference between both sides. I'm not really too sure how much to use, so I'm just going to squeeze on a pea-sized amount on my hand. That's what I use with all of my other tinted moisturizers that come in squeezy tubes, so I'm just going to pop some on here and see what it looks like. It is looking pretty neutral compared to my hand, and it does run down a little bit, so it's not super thin but it's not really thick either. I'm hoping that the undertone isn't too crazy when I buff it into the skin, but we can just use some bronzer if it does look like it's a different undertone. So I've just taken a little bit on my sponge and I'm just going to pat it in and we'll see what the coverage looks like and see if the colour matches as well. So I've applied one layer of the CC cream to this side of my face, and I really do like the coverage actually. It's like a medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's full, but I would say that it's probably buildable. It has covered up a lot of my redness, but I can still see a little bit peeking through on my cheeks. It does seem very, very glowy at the moment, so I'm hoping that powder's going to go onto it very nicely. But it looks really nice. It looks very, very natural on the skin, so it looks like I'm not actually wearing anything. The undertone looks okay. I mean, it's just slightly off, but I can just use some bronzer if I do want to make it a more of a warmer undertone, or you can get those mixing things where you can mix them in with foundations and CC cream. So I do actually really like it. So this is what it looks like with no CC cream on, so you can see all of my blemishes, all of my redness. It's just a lot there, and on this side it just looks so much nicer, and it just looks very natural. Like I said, it doesn't really look like I'm wearing anything. It just looks like my own skin texture. So I'm going to see if I can build it up, and I'm just going to put a little bit more of the CC cream on different areas where I have a little bit of redness, but I did use the entire pea-sized amount on this side of my face. So I've built it up a little bit on a couple of areas, so a little bit on my cheek and then also my chin and a little bit on my forehead, and I feel like it looks really, really good. I wouldn't say you could build this up to full coverage. I wouldn't say it is a high coverage foundation or CC cream. I'd say it's more of a medium when you can build it up, but it doesn't look cakey. It built up very, very easily, and like I said, there's just a little bit of shine to my skin, so that's the only thing that I do have to say. I would need to powder quite a lot, but before you can see a lot of redness, a lot of blemishes, and then after you can't really see anything, and it just looks very natural. So I'm really happy with the way that it looks. And with a scent, I can't really smell anything. It just smells a little bit like sun cream to me. So there's not really the usual Chanel scent that you get with these types of foundations. And I only put a tiny, tiny amount on my hand to build it up a little bit more. And I didn't even use all of it. You can see that I do still have a little bit left on there. So at the moment, I am really liking it. But I'm going to go ahead and do the other side of my face, and we'll come back and see what it looks like. This is what the CC cream looks like all over my face. And I feel like it looks very nice and natural. Now, it doesn't look cakey, and you can still see a few blemishes peeking through. But I don't mind that, because then it looks a little bit more natural. It just looks like my skin, but better. And like I said, the only thing I'm worried about is this glow going on, because for me it's a little bit too glowy for my oily skin. And I'm going to go ahead, do the rest of my makeup, and then come back and show you what it looks like. So I've finished off my makeup, and this is what it looks like, and I feel like it looks so beautiful on the skin. Now, it doesn't look full coverage, and it doesn't look cakey, and I feel like the glow has gone down a little bit more now that I've powdered my skin. So I feel like it looks a lot nicer now that I've put the rest of my products on, powdered, and it just looks really, really nice. Now, I don't know if I prefer this over my IT Cosmetics CC cream, or if I prefer it over my Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturiser. Those two are my favourite ones. I use all the time, and you know, a product has to be absolutely amazing to beat those, because they are just so good. And it's helped out with my pores as well. The colour is pretty good. I can make it work. Like I said, the undertone is a little bit more neutral to what I would need, but I made it work with all of my bronzers, so I feel like it looks really good, and I'm really happy with the way that it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this on throughout the rest of the day and see how it goes with my oils, my sensitive skin, everything like that. So it's now 20 to 1 in the afternoon, so I'm going to have this on for a few hours and then give you a little check-in, just so you can see how it's been going throughout those few hours. Then I'm going to come back at the end of the day and give you my final first impression. So I've just got back from going out, and it's now 4:15, so I've had this on for 3.5 hours now, and this is what it looks like in natural lighting. As you can see, it's come off on the sides of my nose, but this is where I wear my glasses, so I've been wearing glasses pretty much the whole time. It's so sunny outside today. And then you can see that I have my makeup has come off around here, but that's just because I have really bad hay fever, so you know, my eyes just stream, so I've been playing with like tissue, rubbing it against my eye, so that's why my eye makeup isn't looking the best at the moment. But so far it doesn't look too bad. It looks a bit shiny on different areas, but like I said, it is very, very hot today. I've pretty much been sitting in the sun a lot of the time, so the only areas where it's really come off are around the sides of my nose, and then also on the tip of my nose as well, just because, you know, it came off when I was doing my makeup anyway, so I don't really have much makeup on there. And then my forehead is looking shiny, and then around my cheeks I'm looking shiny as well, and you can see a little bit of my blemish here peeking through. But to be honest, it's not really too bad, considering that it's very, very hot. It's 21 degrees now, and I've been sitting in the sun and I'm absolutely boiling. I'm melting, so it doesn't look greasy. it just looks shiny. So that's something that I do have to say. So probably would need to blot in a little bit, but you know what, the rest of my makeup is still on and it's still looking pretty good. So I am pretty happy with the way that it looks, and you still see my highlighter and everything, but it's just my eyes. So I'm back and it's now 11:15 in the evening. So I've had this CC cream on for now 10.5 hours, and I feel like now is a really good time for me to give you my final review and let you know how it's going throughout the rest of the day. So looking at my skin, I look very, very oily, very shiny on my forehead, on the sides of my face as well, like right where my cheeks are, I look very oily, and then my chin looks a little bit oily but not as bad as the rest of it, and it hasn't really come off on many areas. So I can see that my blemishes are peeking through on the side of my face, but that's not too bad because they weren't fully covered up when I first applied it. And then on the sides of my nose where I have my glasses, also where I get very oily around the sides of my nostrils, it has come off as well. But to be honest, for 10.5 hours of wear, I feel like it's done very well. Like I said in my update, today it's been so hot, it's been absolutely boiling here. I spent several hours outside in the sun, and I genuinely thought this would probably last about 3 or 4 hours on my skin, because it didn't say that it was specifically for oily skin, or it didn't say it was oil free, and it did say it was for all skin types. So that's something that sort of worried me as well when I applied it, and it was very glowy on the skin. I was a bit worried and thought it wouldn't last very long. So I am pleasantly surprised at how it's done, because like I said, it hasn't really come off on a lot of areas. From far away, I feel like it looks really good and I'd be happy with it. Like I said, you can still see a few blemishes that have come through on the side of my face, and then also the one on my top lip is coming through quite a lot as well. But you know what, it's not that bad, and I feel like I'd probably just need to blot and powder and it would be good to go. So that's the only thing I do have to say. If you are wearing this for a very, very long time and you have very oily skin, it's probably not going to last the entire time. After 10.5 hours of wear, obviously I am looking very shiny, but I have tried worse foundations that haven't lasted on my skin. For instance, I tried the Galan foundation, the new one, and that one was supposed to be oil free, and I think I had it on for about 8 hours. And it looked very, very oily on the skin, looked very cakey. This one is starting to look a little bit cakey, but it's not that bad. And to be honest, with a shade, usually when a tinted moisturiser or foundation or CC cream comes off on my skin, my face tends to go pale like its natural shade. But at the moment, it's actually pretty much matching my neck, which shows me that it is a product that is staying on for very long. But because I haven't touched up my skin at all today, I haven't touched it, I haven't blotted. The only thing that I've touched up on my skin is my eyeliner and also a bit of concealer, because my hay fever has been horrendous today. My eyes have been streaming, and I just touched up right here and with my eyeliner. After 9 hours, I'd say then it starts to break down on the oils, but you know what, it is good. I don't know if I'd pay £48 for it. I don't know if it's my favourite one out of all of them that I've tried. I think with the undertone, that's something that's sort of thrown me off a little bit. So do remember that with the CC cream, they all do run very neutral. They're beige undertone. I did manage to make it work pretty well when I used my bronzer and my concealer that I usually use. So I feel like the shade match was pretty good after I used them, and it wasn't too bad. You can easily work with it. I mean, when I put it on my hand, I did notice it had a little bit of a warm undertone to it anyway. So it would probably work better for people that do have warmer undertones as opposed to people that have the cooler undertones. I do have 3 other CC creams and tinted moisturisers that I do recommend as well. These ones are more affordable than the Chanel one. I'm not too sure whether the Chanel CC cream would come in here. I'd probably say that it may be second, because I feel like it's done very well. It's just my oils that are looking quite shiny. So these 3 I do also recommend. Like I said, they are more affordable than the Chanel one. One of them's drugstore, the other 2 are still high-end, but they are a lot more affordable than the Chanel one. The first one is the drugstore option, and this is a L'Oreal Skin Paradise Tinted Water Cream. This has SPF 20 in it, and it is so good if you do have acne, because it does have witch hazel in there as well. Also aloe, so it does soothe the skin and it does help out with redness as well. This is like a medium full coverage. You can build it up to full. The only thing I do have to say is that the shades do run very deep with this. So this is light 01, and I can only use this when I have a deep self tan, and that's showing how deep it is, because I usually go for light medium or medium skin tones, and this one is the lightest light shade that they have. It's about £10 or £11, so it's super affordable. Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturiser Oil Free. This one again has SPF 20. I love this one. It's like a sheer light coverage, but you can also build it up to light medium coverage as well, and it just looks so nice and natural on the skin. It also has other skincare benefits in there as well. And then my favourite one is the IT Cosmetics Oil-Free CC Cream. I've gone through so many tubes of this. It is so good. It does have SPF 40, loads of anti-aging benefits, and also has things in there to help out if you do have acne. So this is my go-to at the moment because, as you guys can tell, I have a lot of acne, a lot of blemishes, and this works out really well, and it does help to soothe the skin as well. So with these, you do get different skincare benefits to the Chanel one. So if you do like the benefits specifically of the Chanel one, as I say, go ahead and try that one out. But these ones are really good if you do have oily skin and if you do have sensitive skin. These are tried and true. I really like them, and they're my go-to ones. So all three of these, I do have first impressions on these, which I'll link down below or somewhere in this video for you so you can check it out. But these ones I do recommend, and if you don't want to have the splurge of paying nearly £50 for a CC cream, I'd recommend going ahead and getting one of these. So overall, I do actually really like this CC cream. I feel like it's done really well. I will have to see how it goes during the day if I do put on powder, and see if my skin still stays oily during the day. But so far, for 10.5 hours, I feel like it's done really well, and I'm actually shocked that it stayed on my skin for as long as it did. And the fact that it hasn't really come off on any areas, just certain ones where I do get very oily, that's a shock for me because I assumed it would just come off after a couple of hours. So that's something that I do really like. And the fact that it also has SPF 50 is another amazing thing as well. So if you do want to have a lot of skincare, a lot of SPF when it's the middle of summer, then this would be a really good thing for you. So overall, I do really like this CC cream. I feel like it's done very well. Not sure if it is worth the £48 and if I'd actually buy it again, just because of how expensive it is. And I do have other CC creams and tinted moisturisers that I do like for my skin anyway, but I will be testing this out a lot more. It may be my new go-to, so I will have to sort of see how it goes with trying it out a little bit more. So this is my first impression of the Chanel CC cream. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you've tried this out and if you like it, or if you don't, just comment down below to let me know, and make sure that you give this video a very big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.